Armed with caffeine, young conservatives, and a mission to win Latinos, the LIBRE initiative hopes to score big this year and down the road. Part of the strategy, phone surveys that identify top issues and encourage voting. Daniel Garza, who worked for George W. Bush, helped to start the group.
We launched the LIBRE initiative because we felt that the left, progressive organizations who believed in collectivism and socialism light in America, were dominating the conversation within the Latino communities across the country.
More than 10 million Hispanics live here in Texas, and they're the fastest growing population group. It's one reason why both parties are waging a fierce battle for their vote.
You have to engage with the Latino electorate, and if you don't, you do so at your peril.
That effort is taking place in 8 states, with Texas a clear priority. It's a daunting task because the left has been putting money and top talent into the Lone Star State for some time via Battleground Texas. The thinking, Texas now has 38 electoral votes, and if the GOP loses here, so does any hope for taking the White House.
They understand that if Texas becomes a liberal state, that is it. We live in a liberal country for the foreseeable future. Conservatives need to wake up to this and to understand that Texas is a battleground.
Gonzalez and a growing number of conservatives are making a case for not only why it's important to reach Hispanics, but how.
I think conservatives need to extend to Hispanics an inclusive message of opportunity of the American dream and say the American dream can also be yours. Progressive liberal policies have put you in a hole, have conditioned far too many immigrants to see the government as benevolent.
Believe it or not, immigration reform is not the top issue for Hispanics. A Pew Research Center poll this year found that it's education and jobs. Another reason why the LIBRE initiative believes its message of economic freedom is a winner.
At the end of the day, Latinos have not rejected market principles, conservative ideas, biblical values. It's just that the left has dominated the conversation for so long that when the right doesn't engage, they win.
At a recent community meeting, LIBRE volunteer Eddie Vasquez led worship in this Dallas church before speakers talked about police relations, parenting, and civic engagement. Afterwards, organizers gathered names and numbers and then encouraged people to vote. Political experts know turnout is a huge obstacle with Latinos. In 2012, just 1/3 of eligible Hispanic voters in Texas went to the polls, compared to 60% of whites. Both parties say youth is one reason, along with cultural background. In Houston, Dave Welch with the U.S. Pastor Council trains Hispanic pastors to help their congregations understand the process.
They come from countries where they have no voice, they have no vote, the government's the enemy, so they come here and they have no basis in understanding what self-government really means.
Back in Dallas, Jose Galvez gets it. A former candidate for local office, he urges Latinos to take the next step, getting involved in politics and government.
You're here. You migrated to the United States for a purpose, to better yourself, to better your family. So if you're not planning on going back to your home country and you're here, make it count.
For both parties, the Latino electorate represents a potentially huge prize, but only if this exploding population decides to make its voice heard. Reporting in Dallas, Heather Sells, CBN News.